So about a week ago, a savior of Wizard101 decided to hack the game, and it brought on a lot of messages. Most of which were pretty inappropriate to children, but let's be honest, we're all grown up now, we're big boys and girls. And it helped shed some light on the community on how much they disliked KiFreeGames as a company. So much so that it went viral that even Critical covered it. This gave me the idea that I should make a video on Wizard101's history of major glitches and exploits. So in this video, we're not going to cover the simple stuff because nobody gives a fuck about it or people already know about it, such as floating rugs or plant stacking. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the one-shot pet talent. So in 2020, KiFreeGames decided to introduce pet combat talents, which was a variety of talents in which your pet can actually cast something without you wasting a turn. One of the most dangerous pet combat talents was one called Draw Power Trained. This talent flew under most people's radars because it sucked. Nobody used minions, nobody wanted to sacrifice them, and nobody wanted to summon them. The main reason why is minions in Wizard101 are practically useless in group content. They basically take up a player slot, and you have no control over them. Now, being the mad scientist of pets that I am, I decided to make a lot of Frankenstein monstrosities, such as one with Draw Power Trained. What happens when you used it was that what it would do is it would sacrifice the enemy that's in front of you, or whoever's in the first slot, and you get 2 pips for it. It could have 1,000,000 health and it wouldn't even matter, because it would still get sacrificed. The intended purpose is obviously to use it on a minion that's in a player slot for you to sacrifice and get 2 pips out of it, but what it did was it just auto-locked on the enemy in front of you like it had aimbot. It took about a year and some change to actually fix it, along with a Reddit post that made a huge deal about it. So yeah, it took KiFreeGames a long time to fix it, but at the very least some players had fun one-shotting bosses at level 1. Now we're moving on to some banned cards. This was a main subject of one of my videos, but I decided to include it in this compilation of mine. Basically, there's cards in the game that enemies use that normally players can never use. This includes spells that had a one-shot mechanic from a cheating boss, or just filler cards given to enemies. The way people obtain these cards, and rather they're not just regular treasure cards, they could have just trained them for real, like you could use it an infinite amount of times, was through some castle magic mechanics. Castle magic was intended to spruce up your home to make it look like Sony Vegas After Effects for kill montages, and less like a place to dump your trash in. Through this castle magic system, what it also allowed people to do was duplicate lost and forgotten treasure cards. Anyways, if you want more information on this, I recommend my video, The Cards That Got People Banned in Wizard101. If you do watch that, it will fill in a lot of gaps and give you a lot of information on how everything worked. A long time ago, KiFreeGames made a website called KiFreeGames, which hosted a variety of flash games. Nobody that I knew actually used this website for flash games because, I mean, come on guys. You have a variety of better games, with better graphics, better stories, better waifus. There's just no point in going back to primitive things. Besides the junk mini games, there were 2 things that people came on that website for. Grub Guardian, and most importantly, trivia. Grub Guardian was just a tower defense game in which Wizard101 players would use their pet to defend a bowl of food. But the major exploit wasn't in Grub Guardian. No, it was trivia. Now I, and like other oppressed players of Wizard101, tended to do trivia just to get 100 crowns every day, which equates to, I think, 10 cents. I know it's not much, but when you think about it, it's better than getting a nickel every time somebody says something. Now the trivia questions range from sports, mythology, to even general Wizard101 facts. So what was the exploit, you might ask? So a few months after the website went live, there was an extension created. This extension made it easier for players to get 100 crowns very easily. All you had to do was go onto the website and then click on a trivia category, and the extension would virtually answer the questions just like that. And it worked in a way where it would answer questions at an inhuman speed. Now I for one really liked the extension because I didn't see the point in doing trivia questions. I wasn't studying for the SATs or the ACTs. I was just doing it for a piddly ass amount of crowns. So when Adobe Flash went away, KiFreeGames shut down. Luckily for many poor players like myself at the time, trivia went to the Wizard101 website. The shitty Flash mini games though, I think they're long gone. If you ever wanted to play it, I don't know, Play it on the Wayback Machine. Eventually, word spread very, very, very slowly around the grapevine, and KingsIsle decided to ban players for using this extension. It took them a couple years, but they got it in the end. Now, as to the bannings, I'm not really sure if they really did ban people. I think it's just like PR talk to save face, because nobody that I knew of that used the extension ever got banned. Now, I think there's some people who emailed KingsIsle directly saying that, hey, I use this extension, will I get banned for it? And hey, if you did do that, I think you kinda deserved it. The Crown Store or microtransaction store tends to glitch out every now and then due to maintenance, updates, and hotfixes. It usually results in crown items that can be unintentionally bought with gold. Gold in Wizard101 is the universal currency. Crowns are the currency that people pay real-life money for. Most crown items in this game are fairly expensive, such as pets and mounts. There were many examples such as the squirrel that cost 7,500 crowns and some shitty romance novel pets, so when players can buy them for gold, it presents a problem to people who paid it with crowns. It's basically a disadvantage and makes them feel devalued. Now, I'm not saying it's good for whales to spend money on this crap, but you can't help but feel they were screwed over from this. In the cases where this had happened before, KingsIsle fixes the unintentional glitch hours after, but doesn't reimburse those involved. So if you do happen to capitalize on this glitch in the system, on the mistake of KingsIsle's part, you get to keep the item. If you didn't get the opportunity to, then, well, better luck next time. Lastly, moving on to this year, there was a Wizard101 hacker that posted server messages displaying memes and jokes to make fun of KingsIsle. In many ways, this was pretty important because it put the game back into a 15 minutes of fame spotlights, sent a direct message to KingsIsle from the community. Twitter went wild with it, the community poked fun at it, and me, I got to make content like this for it. But most importantly though, was KingsIsle let everybody have free membership with no paywalls until October as an apology. I think that's gonna do it for this video. There weren't any other serious glitches or major exploits that I know of. A lot of it is just pretty minor stuff, but I could talk about it in a different video. I could call it Wizard101 Minor Glitches and Exploits. Other than that, subscribing is just a click away. I got a terrible headache. I hope you take care, and I'll see you guys. Oh, and join our Discord server. We like to talk, and we're pretty chill. We even got our own Minecraft server as well.